This video is going to be about what we did in possession and how we are starting to move and how we're starting to see patterns that Ruben Amorim has been trying to implement since he got in, and how we're getting better as a team under Ruben Amorim's league back from October or November. In this play, the wingback Araujo gets the ball. The attacking midfielder here makes the diagonal run to the outside, which opens up space for Araujo to play a 1-2 with Hojlund. Here's a clip of Dorgu, who plays the same 1-2 with one of our center mids, Manu. And I know it's technically not called a 1-2 since the return pass didn't come back to Dorgu. To be completely honest with you guys, I felt like they were trying to force feed Rasmus goals in this game. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I have to point this out. This is the best sequence or build-up I saw us execute in this game. I saved the best for last. This play is Ruben Amorim tactics to the T. If this sequence doesn't make you excited about what's to come under Ruben Amorim this season, then I don't know what to tell you. This video is for the lucky ones, the guys who've been with me, the real ones, the ones who subscribed and turned the notifications on. You're going to get to watch this video hopefully before the Bournemouth game because you had your notifications on. Guys, I'm so glad for you who are watching this before the Bournemouth game because you're going to watch me go into detail and break down some of the things we did against West Ham, and hopefully you'll get a chance to identify those things when they happen against Bournemouth. For those of you who are catching up after the Bournemouth game, don't worry, this is still very interesting. You're still going to enjoy this video. It's, I think, one of my best videos when it comes to tactics. Maybe not, but I think it is. It's up there with one of the best. And if you're new to the channel, I might say some things in this video that you're not aware of because you've never seen any of my videos before. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm going to want you to check out this video here. It's a tactics video. I'm going to link some other tactics videos to the end of this video, so you can just click on those thumbnails and keep watching if you like the way I present things. And if you've been with me for a while, guys, hit that like button to get the trend starting, because we are going to start right away with the West Ham game breakdown, and then we're going to talk a little bit about transfer business towards the end of this video. First, I got to say that I was very, very impressed with the way Ugarte played this game. Ugarte deserves a lot of credit. I have been a big critic of Ugarte's last season, but so far, so good this season. I'm seeing a lot of better movement. I'm seeing him better on the ball, too. I'm seeing him involved in possession plays and out of possession plays. But the way he was running around, covering ground, and intercepting the ball in this last game against West Ham, very impressive. I hope he keeps it up. If he keeps it up, maybe the fact that we might not be getting a midfielder this offseason won't be such a big deal. Look, I hope we get a midfielder just like everybody else says. But some people who say, like, we shouldn't get a striker, we should just get a midfielder, you are not correct. Because if you think about it, we already have competition in the midfield department. You've got Casemiro, you've got Ugarte, and we think that maybe Sesko can come in and play. We don't have any real strikers, an out-and-out 9 that can really compete with Rasmus. Chido Obi's not going to compete with Rasmus. Anybody who's been watching Chido Obi play, he's still young. He's still very, very rough. He still needs 1 or 2 more seasons before he can even be really considered to start a game. I mean, all he's going to get, I think, this year is 10, 15 minutes at the end of games. I don't see Chido starting any Premier League games. Do you? If you do, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I don't see it. He's still rough. He still needs time. Let's get back to talking about the game because that's what this video is actually about. Ugarte, great job. Another one I have to bring up is Ligt. Ligt was absolutely outstanding in this game. Always in the right place at the right time and covering the center and watching out for Aiden Heaven, Lenny Yoro, even Kobe Manu. This is just one example of the many clearances he had in this game. You can just see he's focused on the play and perfectly positioned. He's covering the running lane that Wan-Bissaka might think about running in, and also making sure that he's ready to intercept any near post cross attempt, which he does in the end. So Ligt and Ugarte stand out for me in this game. Ligt was very good with his positioning on every play except for the goal that they scored. And I know that's crazy to say, like, every play but that goal. But in that goal, he should have stepped up and pressed and not allowed their attacking midfielder who was checking back to receive the ball in the first place, at least not allow him to receive the ball and turn and feed Bowen, who took on Aiden Heaven and scored a goal. But other than that play, Ligt was pretty much flawless. Ugarte was an animal in our press. I mean, he won back the ball multiple times. I was very impressed. This video is not going to be about the defensive side of our game. This video is going to be about what we did in possession and how we are starting to move and how we're starting to see patterns that Ruben Amorim has been trying to implement since he got in, and how we're getting better as a team under Ruben Amorim. It's going to be a great video in possession. I did promise one of the viewers who commented on a video 2-3 videos ago, he told me to start making videos about our defensive play and our pressing patterns, and I said I would. I even edited those things, and I do have defensive plays edited, but I just don't have the time right now to include it in this video. But I promise I'm going to keep that footage, and I'll probably get more footage from future games, and I'll make a video that covers that part of our game. In this video, though, guys, I'm really excited to share with you what we did that was different, what we're starting to do and learn from Ruben Amorim's patterns, and how we are actually starting to become more of a Ruben Amorim team. And I'm actually really excited to talk about it. So let's dive right into that. In this game, we saw a couple of vintage Ruben Amorim plays, which we don't usually see enough of. One of them is the 1-2 play out wide, where Ruben's Sporting team used to do this like all the time. I want to show you guys an example from the Sporting Man City game from the Champions League back from October or November. In this play, the wingback Araujo gets the ball. The attacking midfielder here makes the diagonal run to the outside, which opens up space for Araujo to play a 1-2 with Hojlund, who's their center midfielder. The return pass was actually intended to go to the attacking midfielder, but the ball goes out of bounds and the play ends, so I'm not really going to show you the end of that. Interestingly, though, I want to show you guys what we did. Here's a clip of Dorgu, who plays the same 1-2 with one of our center mids, Manu. And I know it's technically not called a 1-2 since the return pass didn't come back to Dorgu. It goes to the attacking midfielder, Cunha, who then springs Dorgu loose into wide open space. But I'm going to ask you not to get caught up in terminology. I could have easily called it a give and go. So don't worry about if I say 1-2 and it's not actually a 1-2. The point is the same patterns are happening, okay? Now, we even ran that pattern on the other side. We did it with Ahmad on the other side, and I thought it was even better on the other side. So let me show you that example. Here, Euro passes it to Ugarte, and we have that diamond-shaped setup with Manu and Ahmad involved. Ugarte passes it to Manu, who plays the 1-2 with Ahmad, and then gets it out of the narrow area to Ugarte, who now has all the time to pick his pass. Cunha so happens to be wide open, so he gives it to Cunha, and although Ugarte's pass was a bit behind him, Cunha makes the perfect turn and leaves his defender. Bruno then makes the correct diagonal run into space, opening up even more options for Cunha, who decides to try and thread the needle for Rasmus. To be completely honest with you guys, I felt like they were trying to force feed Rasmus goals in this game. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I have to point this out. This was a fantastic sequence that ended with what I believe to be our captain Bruno trying his best to feed or set up a goal-scoring opportunity for Rasmus. The problem is there was a better passing option, and I think the decision to try and help Rasmus gain his confidence cost us a clear chance. Let's look at the play unfold and I'll explain. It starts with a pass back to our keeper, which usually is a pressing trigger for most opposing teams. And that's why you can see that they are clearly pressing. Euro does not have much time here, but he does an excellent job opening up his body to touch the ball away from the defender and buy himself that extra second to look up and see what's available downfield. He sends a long ball to Rasmus, who does a fantastic job getting a touch on it and not falling down after feeling some contact from his defender like he usually does or he did last season. We need Rasmus to do this kind of dirty work more often. This opens up the whole field for Cunha to run into. If you can go over a pressing team's midfield and have your striker knock down a ball into the path of one of your attacking midfielders who's already past his defender, it's usually game over. You have the numbers and you probably have the angles to attack and find yourself a scoring opportunity. When Cunha gets on this ball, I wish he saw Dorgu with the open lane in front of him, but he doesn't. he lays it off to Bruno, who has no excuse to not see Dorgu wide open with a straight line to goal. But he's more focused on Rasmus. He ignores Dorgu, and he's only thinking about helping Rasmus get a goal. This is deliberate, guys. This is a player trying to help his teammate get a goal by force. This is not the way to play football. This is not what any coach would want. Don't get me wrong. A coach would want his players to want to help each other. Of course, you want to get your striker scoring and lift his confidence in preseason so he can kick on and have a good season. But you don't do it when there's a better option in front of you, because the team itself needs to build some confidence too. And scoring 3 or 4 goals a game in preseason will do much more for the team than making a bad decision and not even getting an opportunity like this. I mean, look at Dorgu's frustration. If Bruno would have passed to him, Rasmus would not have been frustrated, because even Rasmus would know that that would have been the better pass to make. Dorgu was the right option on this play. Anyway, Rasmus does do another great job keeping the ball and circulating it again, but now pay attention to Bruno. He wants to get on the ball again, and when he gets it, I really can't tell what he was trying to do with that little chip over. I feel like it was such a weak kick that he was actually trying to go to Rasmus again, but maybe he was going for Ahmad. I'm not really sure. We get the ball back, and then Bruno goes looking for the ball again. And this time, when he gets it, he makes another absolutely trash pass and gives the ball away. Look, I love Bruno Fernandes, by the way. I do. I believe that he's one of our most talented players. Unlike Marcus, who said bad things about him during our live, and then Bruno did this. He even covered his ears as if he was telling Marcus, "I don't even hear you, bro." What's up, Marcus? With that said, when people try to tell me we would be better without Bruno, I sometimes can't argue with them. I don't agree at all. He's a special player. But wow, man, his bad games can be pretty bad with sloppy passes. And he's the most gifted passers we have. He's one of the most gifted passers we have. So it boggles my mind when he's having an off day. He's a magician sometimes. And then he looks like me trying to play a pass after having not played in like 20 years. The bottom line is we all need Bruno to have a good season. I think he will too. I just hope his off days are a lot fewer than they have been in the past. Let's talk about our build-up player and how I'm starting to see us formulating patterns and making much better decisions and movements with the ball. This is what I saw in the game that got me really excited. I've got a couple examples to show you that I found interesting and I think can really showcase what the build-up is supposed to look like, and also help some of you guys understand exactly what it is Ruben Amorim's looking for. Like here, Dorgu intercepts a wayward pass and we go into our running or our movement patterns. First, Manu starts to make a diagonal run while Bruno checks back into the pocket. Dorgu passes to Bruno, who one-touches it to the forward-facing Manu. This is a staple of the Ruben Amorim system, guys. I need you guys all to understand this. One player checking back to receive and immediately pass to another player who's facing upfield. So I'm checking back. I'm looking back at our own goal. I receive with a defender on my back. But then the player in front of me should be past his defender because he knows what's coming. And now I can pass him the ball and he's facing upfield and he has time to make a better decision. What's even better is that Manu is also past many of the opposing team's players, which gives our midfielders a numbers advantage going forward. The problem is, though, Bruno's pass on this occasion was also sloppy. It wasn't very good. But maybe I can just blame the bad pitch for these awful passes we saw in this game, because the pitch does look like it's in bad shape. But I can't really tell what's going on. I know that Bruno's been making bad passes, so I don't know what to blame it on. Anyway, Manu does a good job of getting a touch on the ball and sending it to Ugarte, who safely plays it out wide to an open Dorgu, but by now the defense has recovered and gotten their numbers behind the ball again. Here we go into a different type of Ruben Amorim play. Cunha starts to run inside, vacating the space in front of Euro, while also becoming an option for Manu, who chooses to go to Euro, who now has acres of space to run into in advance. Even the first touch to receive the ball by Euro is right into that space. From there, Euro tries to hit the long ball past the defense, but it doesn't quite work out this time. Also, I believe the long ball should have probably been a switch to Dorgu, who I think would have been in wide open space since Wan-Bissaka was with Bruno. Anyway, take a look at this Sporting situation where they too crowd one side of the pitch and then hit a pass to a wide open center back to advance it forward. Notice the build-up shape, which is identical to ours, the 3-2 shape. And first, a wing back checks back to get things started. Then an attacking mid checks back to receive in the pocket. And this time, he goes directly to the right center back, who has acres of space in front of him. You're starting to see the same patterns. You're starting to see the same movements. And now I'm going to show you what happens or what it looks like when we do it almost flawlessly. We don't create a chance, but we do it almost flawlessly. I've been waiting to show you this play. This is the best sequence or build-up I saw us execute in this game. I saved the best for last. This play is Ruben Amorim tactics to the T. If this sequence doesn't make you excited about what's to come under Ruben Amorim this season, then I don't know what to tell you. We start at the goalkeeper in that 3-2 shape, which forces opposing teams to commit 4 players forward and keeps them very central, opening up space out wide. You see Dorgu had started higher up the pitch and now he's checking back. And that's the usual route we go to, but not this time. This time, Ligt is checking back towards the goalkeeper and we make the risky pass, but right away, Ligt passes out to Euro, who is facing upfield and has space in front of him. Now, Ugarte's defender has to go out and deal with that, which gives Ugarte the opportunity to start his diagonal run to that side behind that defender. And Man Utd starts to position himself in that direction too, both of them getting closer to Ahmad. Cunha checks back and Euro passes to Cunha. And now we've got that perfect diamond, and Cunha has his options on passing to a player who is facing more forward than him. Cunha passes to Ugarte, who quickly passes to Bruno while Bruno's checking back. Notice how this triggers runs from both wingbacks into zone 16 and 18. Even our right center back starts running. If you don't know what I'm talking about running into the channels or running into zone 16 and 18, if you don't know the diagonal runs I speak of, then you definitely need to go and watch this video when this is done. You're definitely new to the channel. You've never heard me explain this stuff before. I show examples of Sporting doing these things so you understand exactly the patterns I'm talking about. And now we're starting to see us do these things in a way, and I'm getting excited about it. So if you're new to the channel, check out that thumbnail. After this video is done, I'm going to link it again. You'll see the thumbnail. You can click on the link and you can check it out for yourself. Let's get back to this play. Wait. Before we get back to the play, guys, if you're here, if you're still watching this and you haven't clicked the like button, click the like. If you're new to the channel, you should be subscribing so you don't lose my channel. I'm very small and I'm very new. You might lose this channel and not remember me again. So click subscribe so that you get notified when I post other videos. I only post 2 or 3 videos a week. I know I held up to number 3 because that's what I intend to post. But sometimes I work a regular job and I only get to post 2 videos a week. But I promised everybody here, my regular subscribers, and I'll do it again. Starting middle of September, I'm going to post 3 videos a week on a regular basis. I'm going to have a membership and there'll be member videos too. And hopefully we'll get a Patreon up and running too. Okay. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so Bruno has options. I think he would have passed to Heaven here. It could have been interesting, but he goes to Cunha in the middle of traffic instead. But notice how it's 7-on-7 here. Usually a very tough situation to get out of, but not for this system because although Bruno passed to Cunha in the middle of traffic, Ruben's system sucks opposing teams to the center of the field and leaves the wide center backs with space, because the wingbacks took off upfield. Cunha works it back to Bruno, who then gives it to the advancing Heaven, and now we are past their midfield. After this point, you find the open man. After this point, you find a way to hurt the other team because now you have the numbers. Cunha's the open man with space, and Heaven gets him the ball. Unfortunately, Cunha dribbles it into a corner, and we still have to work on that last phase, guys. This was a perfectly built play. We started from our goalkeeper. We made the right runs. We created the diamond. We passed out of the diamond. We switched the play to the other side. We kept the ball and played a give and go or 1-2 with Cunha and Bruno, and then fed it to Heaven, who advanced it past their midfield. And then we got it to the open man, who is Cunha. And usually that's the guy you want it with when he has space in front of him past their midfield. But we didn't create. That last phase is now what we need to even do better with. And that's usually the hardest phase, to be honest, because from that point, Rasmus has to make a better run. Dorgu has to make a better run, and other players have to advance forward. And we have to do something. We have to be creative. We have to string passes together and find a goal. But this was perfectly run up until that point. Pretty perfectly run. And it would work against almost all defenses, guys, because you can't help yourself. You have to be behind the guy checking back. You do. You can't be in front of the guy checking back, because then the ball goes over your head into zone 16 or 18 for Rasmus to run onto. And that's what I mean by he's got Ruben Amorim. If you've been with me before, if you've been with this channel before, he's got options of how to break down teams from this shape, from this 3-4-3, as most of you guys call it. I still don't see it as that, but I understand why it's called a 3-4-3 if you want to get technical. But the point is that he's got these shorter options where you check back, you receive the ball, you give it to a forward-facing player. The forward-facing player should have some time to find something out wide. If not, you still have options in the middle, because there's triangles and diamonds everywhere. And if the other team overpresses, commits too many players, then you've got your forward one-on-one with one center back, and he takes off running into one of the zones that he has the biggest advantage towards. So if he's 2 steps closer to zone 18 than the defender on his back, that's where he goes, and that's where the ball should be sent. It's not a long ball. Some people complain and say, oh, Ruben Amorim loves his long ball. It's a tactical long ball. It's not just a long ball that's heaved up. It's not a Hail Mary pass. And also, if the ball goes out of bounds in those zones, we can't set up our press. That is the zones where you want to press opposing teams. When they're in their own corners, it's the best time to set up a press. And 99% of the time, you're going to win the ball back if you press an opposing team in those 2 corners. That's why everybody counter presses and presses in those corners. If you've heard the team talk, like Dorgu in an interview said that coach wants us to counter press more, manager wants us to counter press more. Well, to counter press more, you have to force balls or turnovers to happen in those zones more often, because that is the easiest part of the pitch to counter press in and win the ball back safely. And usually when you win the ball back, when you're pressing in those zones, you usually win it back centrally, because most players are going to panic and try to send the ball back central, which is where we usually will want to intercept the ball and start from there. We are starting to look better, and Ruben Amorim's fingerprints were all over that last play that I showed you guys and the whole game in general. There were other key factors to show us changing too. Like I told you in the past videos, and I just talked about zone 16 and 18 now, that I'm looking for us to do these passes to zone 16 and 18 at least 6 to 8 times per half, guys. And although we didn't always do it at the right time, we did do that in this game. We kept passing to zone 16 and 18. We're not really that good at it yet, and even Rasmus's timing on the runs and the guy sending the pass isn't perfect. We kind of telegraph those passes, which means that we make the eye contact like very noticeable. Opposing teams know when that pass is going to be sent. So it's not really a great job that we're doing on those passes, but at least we attempted it 6 times or more in that first half. Okay, I got to stop talking about the game. I kind of got to start wrapping this video up because it's already 11 o'clock here and I still have to edit and post this thing, and I have work tomorrow morning. So guys, please like the video, man. But I can't really end this video without talking about the Sesko and Watkins debacle first, or the situation that's going on with Sesko and Watkins. I mean, all over the internet, the debate is Sesko or Watkins. It looks like the crowd is split 50-50. The fans, some of us want Sesko and some of us want Watkins. Guys, let's just break this down logically and think about it. On one side, you've got the Prem proven Ollie Watkins. The guy has done good in the Prem, but he is older. And I don't think Aston Villa are going to give him up for less than 45 million. They might even want more than that. And what are you going to get out of him? Like, how many good years are you going to get out of him? Pretty much guaranteed at least one good season. You could get 2 and maybe even 3. But he's going to ask for a 4-year contract. There's no way Ollie Watkins is going to join us and sign a 2 or 3-year contract. He's going to ask for a 4-year contract, and you're not ever going to be able to sell him on. You might even decide to like loan him in the last 2 seasons or last season because you're not going to be able to sell him on. He's going to be on a decent wage. It won't be too crazy, but it won't be cheap. It'll be up there. I mean, the guy's probably going to be getting his last contract ever in the Premier League, so he's going to want some good wages. And is that going to be worth it? I don't know. Like, let's put this question aside. Is he good? Yes, he's good. Would he help us win? Yes, he definitely would help us win more games. He would score more goals than we have scored last season. But for how long? I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think anybody can honestly give me a real answer here. And also, are we okay with whatever we pay for him to never have a chance to get some of that money back? Because he's never going to be sold. No way. I think he'll retire in 4 years and probably move to the MLS or something of that nature. Like, I don't think that we'll be able to like sell him to move him on. And like I was trying to say that I think maybe if we don't have a use for him after 3 years, we're probably might even have to loan him out and hopefully not have to pay some of his wages like we've done in the past. So I'm not sure about this move because let me talk to you like this. Do you guys think that we can win the Premier League title? Really? Do we really think we can win a Premier League title in the next season or 2? I think probably not. I think what we're trying to do is get back to the Champions League in the next season or 2. And then if we do get back in the Champions League and start making that kind of money, then we can start to think about, okay, now how do we build a squad instead of I think right now what we're trying to do, honestly, is build an 11. Okay, an 11 players that can play the game at a high level, but not a full squad. Now, we do want competition in every space. So I'm not saying that we're trying to build a team without competition. We want competition in every space, but really, though, do we think that we have a full squad that can go out and win a title next season or the season after? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I think it is, like they said, Project 21 or whatever is for 2028. That's 3 seasons from now. Do we want to buy a striker that we pretty much know isn't going to be a part of Project 21? And I know some of you guys are saying he'll only be 33 years old. Dude, he'll be 33 years old. Like, that's still 33 years old. And I don't know. But is he good? Yes. So I'm also not against it. That's why I keep saying I don't know. This is not me saying we shouldn't get him. Because some of you guys are going to get in my comments and be like, I can't believe you don't want Watkins. He's Premier League proven. I didn't say that. I'm just expressing my feelings. Now, with that said, so what about Sesko? I watched 3 of his games with RB Leipzig, and my expert opinion is that RB Leipzig are a very bad team who don't use him correctly at all, guys. They're not good, and they're even worse at creating chances. Like, they have some good pieces in like defense, but their midfielders are not really creative. And Openda being up there with Sesko, he takes up half the space, which only gives Sesko like half the touches that a forward would get if he were alone up front. With that said, I thought he was a strong hold-up player with impressive physicality. And at his height, he could certainly run channels and also win duels. I mean, the guy was not slow for being a big guy. He did a lot of good work out of possession, too. I mean, he presses quite aggressively, man. I like the look of him, and I will be jealous if he works out for another team in the Premier League. Like, I will be jealous if he ends up at Newcastle and he starts killing it in a season or 2. Guys, I was going to edit footage and actually do a whole breakdown on Sesko and stuff like that, like I did for Liam Delap a while back when I did the Liam Delap one. But honestly, I started thinking about the Liam Delap situation, and I thought, well, what if we don't get him? I'm going to make this video and then regret it, because I actually like the look of Sesko, whereas the Liam Delap one, I didn't feel that bad because I didn't like the look of Liam Delap. I didn't think he was going to be successful with us, whereas in the 3 games I watched Sesko play, I was like, yeah, I could really see that working, especially with the checking back and using his body for hold up play. And then especially with the running the channels and trying to get to the zones and using his body to push people off. And then also, I've told you guys this before in plenty of videos, Ruben Amorim's sporting team used to average 21 crosses per game, and Sesko is amazing in the air. He's pretty good in the air. And the 3 games that I watched, dude, RB Leipzig crossed it like 2 times a game. Like, they're not using him right at all. Look, honestly, I don't know which way this is going to go, and I can tell you that I would be happy to welcome either one of these guys. But I am leaning towards Sesko. And if you asked me last week, I would have said I'm leaning towards Watkins because I had only watched 1 game of Sesko's, and I looked up their stats, and I saw that Watkins' stats are way better than Sesko's. But now that I've watched 2 more games and I've seen how bad RB Leipzig are and what Sesko's actual potential is, I think if he's used right, man, he could be a force at his size. And his skill on the ball is very impressive. He does tricks in tight places, and he really does have a good pass on him too for a big guy. But Watkins is also a killer in his own right. He would also be a huge upgrade in what we had last season with Rasmus. And also, Rasmus is actually doing good this preseason. He's running the channels better. And I showed you guys an example where he actually checked back and made a great touch and opened up an opportunity. So I come back to saying I don't know. But I will tell you this. Like, if I was sitting in the boardroom and I was hearing these people talk, and we had stories, I don't know how much I believe these stories, by the way, but we have stories that are coming out that are saying, like, Vavell is for Sesko and Wilcox is for Watkins. I really probably think that it's not like that. Okay, I don't think they're sitting there like, oh, I want this and he wants that. I think they both see the points that both people are making, and I think I don't think Wilcox is sitting there not worried about Watkins' age, let's say, and I don't think Vavell is sitting there not worried that Sesko is not Premier League proven. Okay, I think both of these guys are smart and they understand that there's pluses and minuses, and it's a gamble to go with either one of them, to be honest with you, because the Watkins gamble is he going to be better than just 1 season, or is he only going to be good for a season and then start to slow down as he ages? Maybe 2 seasons, and then are we going to have to go out and buy another 100? Is the striker market going to get even more expensive with the fact that, you know, Champions League football is bringing in more money to teams, and then you've got the World Cup next year, which is going to bring in more viewers and more money, and all these, like, this summer was a good striker summer, and all these strikers are going, and teams like Liverpool are hogging. They're trying to get Alexander Isak too, so they're going to have 2 pretty good strikers if Hugo Ekitike fulfills his potential. Is the striker market going to only have 1 or 2 strikers in 2 seasons, so they're both going to be 100 million euros each because all the other good strikers are on teams that aren't going to let them leave? Like, there's a lot to think about when it comes to buying a striker right now. And if I was in the boardroom, as I started this paragraph saying before I started ranting, if I was in the boardroom and I was Omar Barada and I'm looking at Vavell and Wilcox, I would ask them both, and any other scouts that are involved, I would ask everyone in the room to tell me, if both of these players were the same price, which one would you go for? If both of these players were the same price, not same age, because that'll never be the question. I'm talking about financially. If both of these players were the same price, which one would you buy? Because if the answer is unequivocally Sesko, and then the only reason why we're even considering Watkins is because it's cheaper. And that is not how I want us to build our squad. Yo, I tried to get this video posted for you guys last night before I go to bed. I was up till 1:45 a.m. editing this thing, and I was getting tired. I needed to fall asleep. I needed to get some sleep in because I'm working today. I woke up early, though. I set the alarm, and I'm getting this done, and I'm trying to post it and get it out before the Bournemouth video. Guys, while I was doing this, while I'm editing, got that news that Ornstein Bomba that we are in for Benjamin Sesko. We're going to be going after this kid. He's a bright, talented kid, and I'm telling you, now that I saw the news, I wish I did edit footage of Benjamin Sesko in and talk about his strengths and the things I saw in those 3 games I watched. I am super excited about this kid, man, and it wouldn't be like crazy or out of this world to call him baby Zlatan. I mean, he does have a lot of the same characteristics that Zlatan had back when Zlatan was very young. He's very good on the ball. I'm super excited. We're going to talk more about that in future videos, but I wanted to get in on camera one more time just to let you guys know that I do know about the Benjamin Sesko news, and I'm all for it. And I think they did have that board meeting that I was talking about, and they obviously decided that if they cost the same, we'd go for Benjamin Sesko, because they're going for Benjamin Sesko anyway, and he costs more. So let's do this, man. I hope he gets in by the first week of August. I know that's asking for a lot, because this is probably going to take a while, and I already read that they're asking Benjamin Sesko to actually like let RB Leipzig know that Manchester United is where he wants to go and force a move. So this is probably going to drag on, and it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 week affair, but I really hope we can get it done by next week. Who knows? Maybe with Vavel's contacts that we have a better relationship and we can get this negotiation done by next week and get him in early and see if we can even maybe have him play a little bit of that first game of the season. It's going to be great competition for Rasmus Hojlund. I'm looking forward to it. I think that it's a good move. I'm all for this, guys. Anyway, just wanted to say that before I let you guys go with the ending with this video. Thanks a lot for watching. And that's it, guys. Guys, thank you so much for being with me. I'm going to edit this right now, and I'm going to get this out to you as quick as I can. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. I'm sorry if you watched this after the Bournemouth game, so you didn't get a chance to watch this video so that you can see these plays happen in the Bournemouth game live while you're watching it. I am going to be working tomorrow, so I'm not even going to get to watch the game live. It's actually heartbreaking. I'm going to not look at X. I'm not going to look at Twitter. I'm not going to look at anything. I'm not even going to look at YouTube tomorrow because I want to watch the game after I get home from work and see it for the first time without knowing anything about the game. I don't want to know a thing. So I'm locking out. I'm leaving my phone in my backpack that I take to work. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just going to do my job. And then when I get home, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch the game without knowing anything about the game. And then I will make another video by Saturday. Might even be Friday. But by Saturday, I will make another video talking about the Bournemouth game and anything else that happens in the news. Let's find out if we're getting Sesko or Watkins. Hopefully, we will get one of them, and Aston Villa won't price us out, and Newcastle gets Sesko. And then we're pretty much looking at my nightmares coming through. Nicholas Jackson. Guys, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and check out one of the links that's about to pop up on your screen. If you've been with me for a long time, thank you so much, man. I love you guys. Make sure you hit the like before you go. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Peace.